We picked the worst time to do this because somebody just appeared at WrestleMania. I'm not going to spoil it. But if you see me do one of these throughout the show, it's because that match is on right now.
And he's from AEW. That's all I'm giving you.
Really, way to give it away, man. Way to give it away.
I didn't hear what he said. So.
I didn't hear, and I don't care about WrestleMania anyway, so it's all good.
Yeah, you don't care. Hey, guys, welcome to Chuck's podcast. This isn't my show at all.
No.
But there's a bacon heart on my face.
Chuck, I like your show so far, but I'm a little disappointed by the lack of lasers.
I know. Right. Well, here's what I'll do. Once we get more people in here, I'll do my starting soundtrack, and then hopefully that gets you.
Sounds great.
Oh, okay.
Let me just first make sure that we're live to we are live to Facebook, but that they can actually we can see their comments.
Okay.
By the way,
So,
didn't Mike say he would
There we
also
go.
be shirtless for this? Why am I the only
No.
shirtless one?
No, I just said that I would get completely too high. That's what I said.
Oh, there we go. Hey, what's up, Brian?
Hey, Brian.
Brian, just so you know, Mike is going to do his very first Karate Kid kick on live stream. He's going to do one of these, and then he's going to go, wah!
You know, actually, I was going to do it. Raven's not lying. But the check that Raven gave me for the trick bounced. No, it's not
I
going to.
told you to wait to cash that shit, man. Listen.
I'm an impatient guy. I got bills to pay, man. I can't be waiting on your time.
so we're going to be talking a lot of crazy shit. But
Probably.
Mike, before we get too fucked up, I want to say how huge of an honor it is to have you here. And the thing is that everybody mentions when we're talking about sexy, Mike Debalfo's name comes up. And my wife and I are making a sexy book, and we were like, we're not quite ready for Mike Debalfo. But what's great about Mike is if you can't quite afford Mike, you can get his amazing mentee, Marissa Pope.
Yeah, you know Marissa.
And so I know Marissa, and I love her fucking work. And so I was like, all right, I really like Mike, and we're going to work our way up there. But for sure, I'm going to get Marissa on there. So
Cool. No harm at all, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, I have often thought myself that if I could not get Mike on me, I would love to have Marissa on me.
You're terrible. Uh-oh.
Oh, shit. We got Jim Noble.
Oh, shit. What up, Jimmy?
You know it's a party when Jim Noble shows up. Fuck.
Yeah, man. Nice.
Well, and so one other thing, when I found out, actually, when we talked about this yesterday, I was scrolling through and I saw a buddy of mine from Canada. I haven't seen him in like 10 years. We talk a bit now and then. And you just sent him a sketch cover that you did for Grim Fairy Tales 102.
Okay.
And so you had done this fucking gorgeous ass piece. It was like a New York Comic Con or something exclusive, but it was just fucking beautiful. And so I just thought that was so cool that the day before I was going to sit down and talk with you, he's showing this thing off all excited. And I was like, that's nuts.
Cool, man. Well, thanks for that. Both of you. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
By the way,
So-
before a bunch of people show up, Mike, can you tell us how you got your start in comics? Not how you got your start at the Kubert School
Right.
and didn't graduate or any of that shit.
No, I can tell that story if you want to hear it too. It's not
How
very
were
funny.
you discovered? How did you make your big break in the business? Tell us.
All right.
Tell us.
You know, I don't mind stroking Raven's penis when it comes to this story because he does this. He deserves it. Oh, we lost Chuck. What's going
No,
on?
he's still there.
Anyway.
I'm here. There are some things that you can't legally do in Texas, so I won't be seen doing it.
We respect that. That's cool. So anyway, okay, Raven's story.
Hey, Mike, what if every time he's actually doing that, he's jerking off to your face? He's like, "Oh, Mike."
Well, he paid me to allow him to do that, and his check didn't bounce. So
I can do two things.
All right, so you want to hear it? We can make it a quick story. So I went to Cuber school and I left after my second year because I met a girl and I moved out to Phoenix where I'm at now, and the whole fall in love, get married, have kids story happened, and then. But I always wanted to be in comics. Some years had gone by after I left Cuber school, but I always wanted to get into art as a living. So when I moved to Phoenix, the first thing I did is I went to a local comic shop and made frequent of it. And eventually I ended up putting a piece of fan art up in there, something I drew. And on the bottom of the fan art, I put my email address and contact information in case somebody wanted to reach out about doing anything at all, a personal piece, a commission, or something like that. I wasn't in comics yet. So anyway, I don't know, a few weeks, maybe a few months goes by, and I go back into the comic book store, and I'm getting friendly with the guy. So this one guy, oh man, I should know his name. I don't remember his name right now. Anyway, he was like, "Hey man, Raven Gregory was in here, and he saw your work on the wall. And he thought it was really cool. He said he's going to send you an email." And I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And at the time, anyway. So I get the email from Raven. We start talking, and the rest is kind of history. After that, Raven got me into Zenescope, and we started working together and spending too much time together, taking questionable photos. So yeah, Raven Gregory discovered me through a comic book store. You know how it used to be. I don't know if it's still the same way this day. I don't see it as much. The art walls used to have local kids and stuff like that, or fans, aspiring professionals, put their comic book art on the walls of comic books and stuff like that. I don't see that as often.
They still do it.
Do they? Right, that's good.
Not as often, and let's be honest. When in a lot of these stores, money is a big deal. Like profits are razor thin. So devoting an area to something that's not immediately profitable,
right.
That's tough to do, and I get that.
Mm-hmm.
Let me let you guys know my perspective of discovering Mike Debalfo.
Okay. Wait, there's two sides to every story, so figure out where the truth is in the middle somewhere.
So I used to frequent a comic book establishment by the name of Atomic Comics. Shout out to Mike Malvey, you cool motherfucker. Welcome back.
Heck yeah.
And I was in there one day, and I had always dreamed of getting J. Scott Campbell. But I could never afford him. So I took J. Scott Campbell Light.
That's what it is. All right.
And Mike had drawn this picture of, was it Abby from Danger Girl?
I was a huge Danger Girl fan at the time. And it wasn't Abby, but it was like it was a character I was kind of just drawing at the time who looks a lot like Abby Chase because, but the style it was drawn in was that Danger Girl era J. Scott Campbell style, which is much different than how I draw now.
Yeah, it was like if J. Scott Campbell had gotten into a tragic accident.
Don't even say that.
Couldn't use like half of his brain. The part that created the art, and all that was left was the soul of somebody trying to be an artist. And Mike just did that. And I loved it. I could see the amazing artist he would one day be.
You're not even high right now, and you're talking like this, man.
Imagine
if you were. Come on.
That's the worst compliment I've ever heard.
I was such a huge fan of Campbell that I saw his work, and I'm like, dude, he's fucking amazing. And even, now I don't want to say he surpasses Campbell, but he's damn near. You're damn near your levels. Considering how long Campbell has been in the industry and where he was at the beginning, like you ever see his Nintendo Power shit?
Yeah, man, he was a kid.
Yeah, dude, your levels of how far you've come in a short amount of time you've been doing it, it just keeps getting better and better. I haven't seen Campbell really do a level break since Disney.
Yeah,
he's still a master.
That was like the next level. Like, because we had Danger Girl, and that was like next level after Gen 13. And we all kind of grew complacent. Like, oh, okay, Campbell's great. We all love him. Nothing against him. But then the Disney stuff came out, and it was like, holy shit.
There you go.
Like, he's still getting better. It was unbelievable. Yeah.
See, I don't think that I would almost say that a comparison's not necessary, Mike. You have done, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, but got it. So I think about this so often, and I talk about it often enough with other artist friends of mine and stuff. No matter how good I get, those guys are always going to be, to me, like way better. Like I'll never reach that level. So it's crazy when I hear people say things like what you guys are saying, because I'm like, man, I got so much more work to do. Like you guys really see the greatness in it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, straight the fuck up. Yeah, like.
Okay, like are you guys friends? What kind of music are you guys fans of?
I'm a metal guy.
Anything but Metallica.
Okay, well, I'm a metal guy too, and fuck Raven in that case. So
yeah, totally fuck Raven.
It's like growing up, I still love music, but I always loved music a little bit more than drawing even. And I used to read tons and tons of metal magazines and rock magazines as a kid. And so use Metallica as an example. It's like if you read an interview with James Hetfield or Kirk Hammett or Lars Ulrich, any of those guys, and you ask them, well, who's your favorite drummer? And Lars Ulrich say like Bill Ward from Black Sabbath, you know. To Lars Ulrich, someone like Bill Ward is like, he can't touch that guy because it's his life. So and look at Lars Ulrich, he's in fucking Metallica. Like as far as rock goes, whether you like him or hate him or you don't, whatever, like they're insanely famous. So it's the same with me as an artist. It's like, you know, it's a much lower level, of course, than the music.
I was gonna say, so you're no Bill Ward, but you're a solid Lars Ulrich. So
Lars Ulrich and J. Scott Campbell, someone like that would be like my Bill Ward. You know,
I like that.
Page to Kirk Hammett or someone like that. You know.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny hearing you say that, Mike, because I know exactly what you're talking about. I look at some of my favorite writers and I say to myself, they're so masterful at what they do. There's no way I could compete with what they're capable of doing. Same with comedians and whatnot. Same with Chuck and his interview skills. Same with Pat Chan and his gay porn, prophylacy.
Ginger gay porn.
I'm so sorry. Pat,
it's a niche, man.
Ugly now.
I really want to apologize to the ginger community. At no way whatsoever did I mean to offend you. Please don't cancel me.
You know what, though? You know what we forgot to do?
Oh, that cool little thing you do at the beginning?
Oh, yeah.
We forgot to do this.
Canadian bacon is actually really good, and it's nothing like normal bacon, and it's better than ham, which you guys seem to call Canadian bacon. I'm very good at writing. I write very well. Yeah, it's Shop Talk.
Do some of your audience members like the word fuck? Cool. Then I'm going to keep saying fuck. Because I care.
And that's that.
I guess that's lasers. That's cool.
I'm glad you like it.
Next time I pull like Eddie Van Halen with like the green M&Ms, I'll be like, Chuck, I'll come on your show, but I want some goddamn lasers. I'm not going to lasers.
Trying to give you something, man. Such a Canadian answer. That's true.
That's crazy because man, it's fucking wild how we as creative individuals always hold these people that we admire up on this pedestal, and you know we don't try to really emulate them, but their style and their craft becomes a part of our genetic makeup as creators.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's funny, though. I hope that you guys understand, and I bet that a lot of the creators and whatnot watching will echo. For us, you know, the group that I hang out with, we all feel like you guys are that next level. Like you guys have been where we want to be and doing the kind of shit that we want to be doing, and we love what you guys are doing. So when you guys were looking up to people like J. Scott Campbell and all that kind of stuff, we were looking up at you guys, and we're going, oh shit, there's nothing like a fucking Mike Debalfo cover. If you can get that, that's like another level for you. Like you just feel amazing. Fucking having Raven come on and do some words in your piece, or being able to work on something that he edited or whatnot. That's another level. And I think, you know, I would love for you guys to understand, at least leave this understanding, like for us, you guys are that next level that we all want to see.
All right. Cool. I appreciate that. Thanks.
I'm going to mute the mic for a second and grab the lotion. If you could just keep going. Keep just keep talking exactly the way you're talking. Like maybe put a little bit of soprano in your voice, just a little bit, like make it sound like a girl a little bit. Mike, twirl your hair while he's doing it. It shouldn't take long. It really should.
You're giving me the vapors.
Hey, Chuck, have you ever done edibles before?
I have. I just did one the other day.
What'd you think?
It's not as controlled as smoking.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like with smoking, I always know, depending on the strain, of course. But you always have a good idea of when it's going to hit, how it's going to hit, you know, all that kind of stuff. Whereas I have an edible and I'm like, it could take an hour. It could hit in 15 minutes. It might be a smooth, chill high, or I might be fucking bouncing off the wall. I just have no clue.
Yeah, that's where learning the microdose comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah, microdosing is it's a wonderful experience. All of a sudden you go out into the world and everybody's nice. Yes, Steph, I'm fat. You don't have to point it out to everybody. I'm heavy. I really wish you wouldn't bring that up. I've been working out. I've been trying to lose weight. God.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Jim
Look
Noble.
at how
I created Totally Rad is pretty awesome, actually.
I created Totally Right.
I call
Totally
Jim
Rad
the
his porn book?
books. Huh?
Is Totally Rad his porn book?
It's his company, yeah, his publishing company.
What's this book that he puts out?
He's got a few different out.
What?
He has a few different titles out.
What's the titles he puts out again?
He puts the totally Rad Life of Violet.
Yep.
That's the only one I've seen so far. So
There you go, Jim.
There's several of them, though.
Look at that, Jim.
Well, you've done covers for him, haven't you?
Yeah, I did.
Mike, you've done covers for him, though, right?
I did one so far. I did one last year. Yeah.
Okay. Or did you specifically ask not to be credited openly? If so, I apologize for outing you.
No, I don't mind. I'm credited on there. Yeah, I don't want
he's great.
with Jim's name at all. So I had him erased.
Right. Brian says for me it's Neil Gaiman, but Neil's not that next level for you. I love you, Brian, but Neil Gaiman is not that next. He's like, you know, someone to peak, like someone peak to look up to. I totally feel that. But as far as talking about that next level, I love you, but Neil Gaiman is not your next level. He's not my next level. I don't know if he's Raven's next level. You know what I mean?
Oh man, I could outright Neil Gaiman any day of the week. Give me a fucking break. What, Sandman?
Let's do this. Nobody reads that.
Good Omens? Shit.
Raven don't know shit about edibles. We got good stuff up here. He's in Washington State. They do have good stuff up there.
By the way, Brian, I love Neil Gaiman. He is in another planetary system for me. I couldn't even see the place where he is. That's how far he is. Also, Braden, I smoke a lot of weed, so I don't know what shit you guys got, but it's probably better than here because Arizona is fucking Arizona. Also, I didn't know if you guys knew this, but Mike, for this podcast streaming thing, is actually wearing pasty stickies on his nipples in case he has a wardrobe malfunction. Is that what you said it was?
Yeah,
Mike?
yeah. It could easily happen with a V-neck T-shirt. I don't know if you guys know that.
By the way, it's a very sexy look for you. It's very Italian. You're missing the magic lamp thing.
I was going to order one with your check, but it bounced. I wasn't able to get the chain, Raven. I'm sorry.
See, for me, I'm not afraid of losing the shirt, but I am afraid of falling asleep because I've just been having a hard time sleeping lately. So Wendy strapped some taser strings to my balls. So if I start to fall asleep, she's just going to hit that taser and I'll be up again and we'll keep going.
You know, okay, that's a good idea.
Yeah, it works.
Dude, you know,
that's the only reason I get work done is she's at home hitting the taser every once in a while.
You got it by remote.
You know,
even when she's at work.
It's amazing what we could do with technology today.
It's funny that you keep making that joke about the check clearing, Mike, because I've waited for, like, Mike is very in demand. Like, he has a list a list of people. I'm not even joking. Like, it sounds like a joke. It sounds like I'm gonna make a fucking bit out of it.
Right.
But no, he has a list of people that people are waiting to get covers from him.
No,
So I've been
believe it.
waiting to get a cover from Mike for 6 months, and then like something will happen, and we always have to push it back. So finally, we're in April, and I can finally get the cover from Mike, and I am fucking broke. I got no fucking. It's been slow. These
That's
last
the way of
months,
it.
no sales. I'm like, what the fuck? So, Mike, you still gonna do that cover for me?
It's true. We've been trying to book a cover for like since God. It's been like 6 months.
Yeah,
Close to that now, huh?
yeah, since before COVID.
No. Not even.
Dude, Trump was president when we booked this cover.
Steph says the bookcase and glasses. Mike thought this was Masterpiece Theater. Masterpiece Theater, this is not, my friends.
No, it is not. But I'm trying my goddamn hardest, man.
Right, I'm sorry, brother.
Value.
Braden, two things can be true. John says, Raven, please tell me you're wearing pants and we're not going to see you.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, I really thought I was going to see a dick. I really like.
Something. Oh,
I can.
Why is this shit gotta go happen to us, Chuck?
I know, that's why I knocked him out. We'll bring him back when I see that he's not showing me. There he is. There's his face again.
Yeah, dude, you can see him get kicked off.
Dude, you're talking to a comedian. John should not have said that shit. He knows I was gonna show my ass.
Right?
Like, come on, man.
Man. That was good.
Hey,
When he says the best is when he's in the tub, I just have to tap the button, but it's hilarious.
So cute story. This is kind of up there with what we were talking about, like artists and creators that we're huge fans of, and how we look up to them. So I told Chuck, me and Chuck were just talking. I was like, dude, why don't we get Debalfo on this? And he's like, holy shit, Mike Debalfo! No way, really? He would do it? And I'm like, man, Mike Debalfo ain't shit. Yeah, I'll talk to him. He's like, no way. And I'm like, oh, God, they think you're like really cool or something. I'm like, dude.
We really like him. The circles I run in are big fans of the Mike D.
Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate that.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
You have the nicest compliments too. I really appreciate you.
I got you, baby. I got you.
Raven and I are such a big brother, little brother dynamic.
They're fucking backhanded compliments is what they are.
Absolutely. I would never.
Don't let
when he is being like too nice, I don't fucking trust it.
Oh yeah, you know he's about to ask for money or something.
Something like that. Hey, I need to ride to the airport.
Hey, Mike is still firmly affiliated with the comic book industry, so don't let him fool you. He's funny as shit, and he gets his blows in too. But because we're online, he has to be careful with what he says.
You gotta be careful these days online with jokes and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't joke nearly as much as I do online.
I feel you, man.
Yeah,
you know, it's not worth it. Sucks, honestly.
I am shirtless because Mike made me be shirtless.
I did make him shirtless.
Mark May says, "What's up?" to Debalfo.
Good to see you.
You gotta pay. Yeah, his ass is behind the paywall. Yeah, I was like, no, I'm not letting you guys. Oh, I'll shut it down. If they want to see your ass, they gotta pay. I'll give you 30%. You deserve it.
That wall from Game of Thrones, it's that big and that hard to get through.
Right.
They got through that shit easy. Come on.
It did. It was so disappointing. That was so disappointing. Well, that show was
dragon? You didn't like the dragon blowing it up?
Yeah, that actually is. The proper term is the Mike Debalfo.
Like the Batman?
Yeah.
I can live with that.
I am the Mike Debalfo.
I like that Mike couldn't go through and put his last name there. He's just like Mike D, so people think that
what the rest of your text says. Mike Debalfo's PU, no, I see. I can only guess so many words after that. So
I don't know why it's not coming up. I apologize.
I can't see. Maybe it's on Facebook on my.
I might be able to. Here, let me change the layout.
Good friends. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Chuck,
and then what we can do is we can move Raven over there and see.
There is pigtails. Wow, I never would have guessed that. That's good, man.
No, I never would have gone there.
No, that's good. Good for you.
Because I'm a writer and
You're a
people
writer,
admire
man.
me.
Because I'm a writer. Boom.
So Chuck, I mean, Mike, how's your experience been with edibles?
Do we tell that story?
Oh man, you can tell all the stories here. We got an hour.
So this was years ago, maybe 2011 or 2012. I was still, it might have been even 2010, like early on. Like I broke in 2009 with Raven, and from there I went to Zenoscope, and I was with them for several years. Exclusive. I was with them exclusive for 2 years. So in that time, they're taking me around to conventions and stuff like that. And I want to say it was my second time at San Diego Comic-Con, I think, ever as a professional. I get there to the Zenoscope booth, and I get there on Wednesday on preview night, and I didn't eat anything all day. I rushed to the airport to catch my plane, and I land. I get to the booth, and Raven comes up to me almost right away, and he's like, "Hey man, how you doing? Good to see you," so on and so forth. Are you hungry? I go, "Oh man, actually, I am really hungry. I haven't eaten all day." And I told him about how I rushed to the airport. And he goes, "Oh well, so and so over here has some chocolate if you want a piece. The show's almost over. It's preview night, so it's a short show tonight." I'm like, "Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, absolutely. Give me a piece of chocolate." So Raven goes over and grabs this piece of chocolate, and I put it in my mouth and I start chewing it, and I'm like, "Oh man, this tastes like grass." And I look at Raven and I'm like, "Oh, you son of a bitch." Like I don't smoke at this point, nothing like that. I haven't had anything like that in probably close to 10 years. And here I am, a new professional at San Diego Comic-Con trying to make a good impression in front of fucking Zenoscope Entertainment. And Raven gives me a fucking chocolate edible. And I didn't do anything like that before. I didn't know anything about it. Like it was still relatively new at that time. To the mainstream anyway. So Raven's like, "It's fine. It's fine. I had one about 15 minutes ago. I feel fine. It's weak stuff." I'm like, "All right, I'll try. That's fine. But you're still a dick. Like, don't fucking do that to people."
Mm.
So
Definitely do that to everyone. You
No,
can.
I got to agree. That's like Mickeying a guy, man. Like that's fucked.
So,
Yes,
yeah,
Mickey,
you fucking
Mickey, every guy you know.
So anyway,
Ladies,
so
start
Raven,
making people.
about 45. Well, no, maybe half an hour, 45 minutes goes by, and some other people I work for come up to the Zenoscope booth and just to shoot the shit. And I'm talking with them, and we're having a good old time. And I'm saying something, I'm telling a story or whatever, and all of a sudden it feels like my words are going blah 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 blah, and like the environment like shrinks in on me, everything starts echoing out. And while I'm talking, I'm like, "Oh shit, I'm stoned," and I get nervous as fuck. So the people I'm talking to, I'm like, I wrap it up. I'm like, "Fuck, like, I can't be high in front of these guys right now." So I wrap it up with them and I sit down and I'm like, "Fuck, like, what the fuck, man? Like, I can't do this stoned. Like, I'm not high, I'm fucking stoned." So I'm looking around, I'm just sitting there looking out towards the crowd. And I turn around to go look at Raven, and Raven's at the Zenoscope booth behind me. I'm at the front table where like they put up their artists and their books and stuff like that. And Raven's back near the banners. I look back at him, and he's in his chair, like, fucking like he's passed the fuck out. His head over the back of the chair, and his legs are sprawled out starfish style. And I'm like, "Oh shit, I'm in this alone. I'm fucking I'm in this alone. Like this sucks. I don't know how to compose myself." And when you don't smoke a lot and you don't get high a lot, you don't know how to handle it. And this was a fast, hard, heavy high.
And the one guy that you thought could handle it is passed the fuck out.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I'm like,
yeah, that's scary. No, I feel you.
So, gosh, there's more to the story. I'll try to make it more concise. Anyway, the show ends up letting out, and Raven gets up, and I'm like, "Dude, you motherfucker!" Like, I'm fucking stoned. Raven's like, "Bro, I am so fucking high right now." So I'm like, "Fuck, we're both high as fuck." He's paranoid too because he didn't expect this, and he's not handling it well. He's all paranoid. We leave the show, and we're staying at the Hilton, which if you're at San Diego Comic-Con and you come out of the convention center front doors, you make a right and you walk straight just a few hundred feet and you're at the goddamn Hilton. Raven and I did that and somehow ended up in downtown San Diego walking, getting lost for God knows
3 hours. we were gone. It might have been 10 minutes, but it felt like 3 hours.
It might have been 10 minutes, but it felt like 3 fucking hours. And it wasn't
people kept on seeing Mike, trying to talk to Mike. And the whole time I was like, dude, they're going to murder us.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we were like
all of a sudden, somebody's like, hey, Mike! Mike! And we were like, no, they're going to kill us, Mike!
It was a bad paranoid high. It was the most paranoid high I've ever had in my life. So anyway, I'm going to skip over the next part and just say we got back to the hotel room. We get up there, and we both lay in the bed, not a word is said, and we're laying there high as fuck. For me, the room spinning. I'm like, I'm going to lose my job. Like, this is fucked up. And Raven goes, yo, Mike, you good? And I'm like, no. And that's the last thing I remember that night. The next thing I remember is my wife coming the next day. Mary was flying in the next day. And that's the first thing she fucking heard about at the booth. And I don't know what she said to Raven, but I saw little 5'5" Mary, 115, 113 pounds, up in 6'1", 6'2", big old Raven's face, just chewing him the fuck out. And Raven looking at her like, I fucked up. I made a big fuck up. I fucked up, mama. That's funny.
What's fucked up about this story is I've repeatedly done this same thing to multiple artists at Zenoscope. It's become this regular trend. I did it with Anthony Spade. We were at a Zenoscope dinner and we had smoked before the dinner and we were high as shit. And Ralph looked at us and he's like, what the fuck's wrong with you guys? I'm like, I'm high as fuck. He's like, dude, you got Anthony high? I'm like, yeah.
Anthony's a good kid. What'd you do to him?
Yeah, dude,
right.
Be professional, Raven. I'm like, I can't. I'm high.
That's fucking okay. The only story I have that would kind of come close to that is we had some friends, and every once in a while we would do mushrooms together. Fucking loved mushrooms. And so the last time we'd gotten this stuff, it took like an hour and a half to kick in. So we all wanted to do it together, but it turned out I was working that night until 10 o'clock at night in the kitchen. So I was like, okay, you know what? If we all take them at 9, by the time I get home at 10:30, we'll all hit our high together. And they're like, okay, yeah, it's a good idea. I was like, cool. So we'll all eat it dead on at 9 o'clock, and we'll all hit together. So, I go to work. I'm working in the kitchen. I work in the kitchen by myself. I was a short order cook. 9 o'clock, and I told the one waitress there what was going on. I just told her, hey, just so you're aware, this is what's happening. She was a friend. She's like, okay, cool. I was like, just so you know what's going on in case I start acting weird, because I will. She's like, all right. So 9 o'clock, I take it. All of a sudden, at 9:10, I'm fucking making some chicken fingers. I have the chicken. I'm putting it in the liquid, the liquid flour, and I'm like, holy shit! And my hands just feel so cool in the mud, and I'm just having a great old time. And then I start putting them in the deep fryer, and as I do, I realized, oh shit! I put my fingers in the deep fryer because they've been battered. I battered my fingers and put them in the deep fryer, and then I was like, holy shit! It fucking cooked them.
Oh my god!
And they taste delicious. Holy shit! And I'm in there fucking.
Holy shit.
Rich, I will tell you, there's no way I would, even to this day, there's no way I would do that sober. No way. But I was in there fucking. And so then cut to my wife and my friends and stuff all at my apartment. And it's 9:15 and they're all like having, enjoying their high and having a good time. And all of a sudden Wendy stops and she goes, what about Chuck? Oh no! And I'm fucking high as shit. Now, here's where I'm smart. I wrote myself a note. It said, Dear Hi Chuck, in your pocket is $20 for the taxi. This is the phone number for the taxi. Have a great day. Love, Sober Chuck. And I was like, that guy is fucking awesome. Like, I was so excited. That guy has my back. And I brought the note over to the waitress, and I'm like, please call this number. And my address is on there. And so they called the cab. No problem. Get in the cab. Dude, I get in the cab. The guy is speeding, and he immediately, like, kind of gets in my face a little bit. And he starts talking, trying to get the camera. He starts talking, like, right in my face. And he's like, hey, man, so I'm listening to this radio station, the Conspiracy Radio, and this shit is awesome. Like, they're talking about the Chupacabra, and he just goes all in my face with the fucking conspiracy theory while the Conspiracy Radio is going on. And because he's in my face, he's driving into oncoming traffic. And I'm fucking holding on to the holy shit bar, just like, oh, that's an excellent story. Thank you. How interesting. Like, completely fucking afraid. As soon as we get to the house, I think it was like a $13 cab ride or something. I probably would have asked for some change. I just fucking threw the 20 at him, and I was like, thank you, have a great day, and just fucking ran inside. And I got in and immediately told the entire fucking night story to everybody there. And yeah, it was fucked up, dude.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's good, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, as you guys get older, have you started like talking to your past and future self now?
My past
Like
self.
I'll do something like I'll leave a lighter in the car, and then when I go in the car and the lighter's there to light a cigarette, I'm like, good job, past Raven, thanks.
I do something similar, but what I do is anytime I get a fresh notebook, I'll flip to the middle and I'll write myself a really nice affirmation. You know, so I'll be like, oh, dear future Chuck, you fucking rock. Kill this shit. Love past Chuck. And so I'll be going through the pages, and you get to like a partition, you see that, and you're like, that guy's fucking awesome. Like, he's so good to me. So I
come to fruition.
Yeah, I love doing that. It's you forget about it because it's like 100 pages deep, and you've worked your ass off, and suddenly you can look back and you can go, I ripped through 100 pages doing all this shit, and I'm congratulating myself. That's fucking cool. Like,
yeah, man,
you forget doing it. Yeah,
good for you, man. It's amazing how little things like that can work for creative people like us, because we're all crazy in our own minds, you know, in our own different ways too.
We can be needy bitches, but if you get that you're a needy bitch, then just like take care of that needy bitch.
Yeah, you're right. Take care of it yourself, you know?
Yeah.
It's one of the best things we can do for ourselves.
Wendy knows that Wendy found very many future Chuck notes. Brian says, I read journals from my middle school days. I basically write fiction stories with topics that were supposed to be serious, and I, in my opinion, was a hilarious little dude. Yeah, it's great, dude.
I do that too. Yeah, I'll come across things that I wrote. You know, say like Facebook posts, like it pops up into my memories. Like I made this Facebook post, you know, 3 years ago, and I'll read what it says. I'm like, man, I thought that was pretty fucking funny. Like that still holds up. You know,
that's why I love getting like the memories on Facebook or checking out old tweets and just being like, oh, that shit was funny. That was a good one, man. Yeah, that's the best.
Is a dick, and they don't have a sense of humor.
Dude, it's if you really think about it, like think about how many times you've been offended by things in your life. Right. Like you come across various things. Getting a good sense of humor takes a long time because a lot of people don't understand. People make jokes about things they don't even mean. We especially comedians, we're doing all of this to elicit. Yeah. And a lot of people don't understand. It's like if you sit in the front row at a comedy club, you're asking to get shit on. But it's for the good of the crowd. We're trying to make the crowd laugh, so we need a sacrifice. But we're not mean. It's not that we actually don't like. I mean, I joke about Mike's hair all the time because I'm jealous of it. But it's something I can fuck with him because he used to have this hair that would blow in the wind and Enya music would come on.
Oh man, Raven, you missed the hair when it was like down to here on me about a year ago.
Get the fuck out of it.
Yeah, it was
COVID hair.
A year ago.
You had a hair metal hair?
I had long metal hair, yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Is there a picture of this?
Nope.
Damn you.
There is two. I know where one is. I can find it and send it to you. And then there is another picture, but my hair is up. Like it's long enough where I was in Florida.
Oh, so you can't tell.
Yeah, it was really fucking hot, and that hair was heavy, dude. So I had to put it up the whole time. There's
Now,
a picture
Chuck,
of me.
are you good with like doing graphic design or anything, like making graphics or memes? Because I need someone to Photoshop my ass right next to Mike's face with the hair, and then put some Enya music playing.
Like you're farting out Enya music under my hair.
Oh my god, you're so fucking talented.
But anyway, go back to we were making jokes online or being a comedian instead.
Yeah.
Oh
you're not
yeah.
being mean. You don't hate things. You don't really mean anything you're saying. It's a fucking joke. Pointing, parodying the truth or putting out an obvious.
My latest bit that I've been doing that I don't know if it works, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna ride with it. Is I'll make a comment like, Chuck, Mike, you look particularly gay today.
Right.
And if somebody takes offense to that, I'm like, wait a minute. I didn't say looking gay was bad. I didn't say it in a derogatory term. If you take it in a bad way, that's on you, you gay ass motherfucker. You know, it's like
the last part might break it, but yeah, he had me for a little bit there.
Well, Bill Burr has that down much smoother than you do.
Yeah.
I'm still learning. I'm trying.
And Bill Burr's the shit. I can't wait for him to put out another stand-up.
It's funny because you were talking about getting into the face of the people in the front row, and Gary Shandling has this great story that he tells where he did tell, he's passed away, but he had this amazing story where he was in the I believe it was Comedy Cellar or something. No, the Comedy Store. Yeah. And it's late at night, and he said there wasn't a lot of people there, and there was someone right in front of me in the front row by themselves. And I'm fucking in, and he's like, I'm in their face. I'm just making fun of them and ripping into them. And after a while, he could tell that the person was not enjoying it. So he said, I'm really sorry, man. I always rip into the person that's right in front of me. If you just want to move a couple seats over, it'll be good. I apologize. And the guy's like, yeah, okay, no problem. So he moves 3 feet over, or 3 seats over. Gary fucking grabs his mic, steps 3 seats over, plants in front of him, and rips right back into him again. I was like, holy shit, man. He's like, I just decided that's where I was going that night. And I'm like, that's fucking hilarious.
That's crazy, buddy.
That's fucking great.
Yeah, that's what it is. I mean, comedians aren't mean by nature. No, like the reason comedians are funny is because we got picked on so much as kids. We had to get clever fast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If I make fun of how fat I am and how small my dick is, you can't.
Right?
That's why Kevin
Smith.
Smith.
You're saying to them, it doesn't hurt me.
Yeah, exactly. You take the power away from it.
Yeah.
John Westhoff's in the house.
Yep.
Oh, John Hart.
I do not have a small dick, people. I do not have a small dick. It's super big, at least as big as an Italian. Not as big as a Canadian, but big as an Italian.
Okay. And I'm an Italian Canadian, so what's up?
Oh, shit. That means you're not circumcised.
It could mean a lot of things.
He's not circumcised. Dude, the conversation got serious there. He was like, we don't talk about circumcision. We don't talk about our dicks on stage.
I mean, there's a first time for everything, I guess, and that was it on the show. John says, when you find that light in your car, you should thank John, or that lighter, you thank John because you stole it from him.
This is a running theme that if my friends allow it, I will steal their lighters just so that later when they go to light their cigarette, they're like, where the fuck is my fucking Raven? Man. And it makes them think of me, and it's a warm feeling, and I can't wait to do it to Mike again.
The funny thing is we all have that friend. Like Wendy and I have that same friend. She actually got like a special case to put hers in so everybody would know that's her lighter. Mm-hmm. Because if you have a Bic, you're asking, yeah, okay, thanks, babe.
Yeah, my buddy Pete years ago, he used to buy only pink lighters and nobody ever sold it.
Oh, that's dope. I like that. Yeah. That's a really metal
yeah, here
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's cool, man.
We love the dragon shit.
That's dope. I really like that. I like that you have dragons in the background too, and Mike just has X-Men, a Jim Lee X. God damn it. I can't even make fun of Jim Lee X-Men.
What are you gonna make fun of back there?
I can't make fun of
He's
any
so
of it. I'm
funny.
like, God damn it.
Yeah, man.
Mike knows what my room looks like. I have stuffed animals everywhere and shit.
It's true, he actually does.
Yeah, I really do. I sleep with fucking stuffed animals now. I'm a grown ass man. I'll admit it.
You sleep with what?
Let's just edit that part out the conversation. We're good. We're good. Don't need
Okay, fair enough.
that shit. Yeah. I don't think any man sleeps with stuffed animals and women are like, oh my God, I have to fuck him.
Well, no, but I mean, I don't sleep with him, but I've got him around.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I also have a Stormtrooper one and a Ray. So, I mean, I don't sleep with them, but they're around.
Hey, can I show you guys something to convey how much I love Mike Debalfo? He really is the little brother that I always wanted but never had. Can you move your camera at all, Mike?
A little bit. What do you want to see?
Can you show them Devastator?
Oh,
Here,
man.
we'll put him in.
He's
You
up
can't show it.
He's up
You
way
can't.
high.
You put him up on a ceiling?
Basically, yeah.
Whoa. So
No,
Chuck,
I would take him down, but like I got him together. He's so hard to get to stand up.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, don't worry about that. Could you do us a favor? Could you take a picture of him sometime?
Well, yeah. Here, well, I could do this. Yeah.
Yeah, so Chuck, a while back, all the artists that were really close personal friends of mine, when I had baller money, I used to buy them like cool little shit because I love my friends. Like they matter a lot to me, and I want them to know that they're, you have friends that, yeah, there you go, that big motherfucker.
Try to
You
get
have-
it's good.
Holy shit.
It's huge, dude. It's fucking gigantic.
Yeah, it's a
I remember being a certain age and just that was the goal, man. That thing's
All the Transformers as kids when they first came out, and Devastator was the first one. And you look at it now, and it's like this big, and it's all shitty.
Yeah.
right. So
Yeah.
So I bought this thing for Mike, and I wanted to put it together to surprise him. And it didn't come with it came with directions, but it wasn't in English. And for the life of me, I went on YouTube. I couldn't put this thing together for months. And I kept telling Mike, hey, dude, I got your Devastator here. I got your blah, blah, blah. And finally, I just gave it to him. I couldn't figure it out. And he put it together in a day or some shit.
I believe it.
I put it together in 45 minutes the next morning. Yeah.
Yeah, ass. Like, fucking artist.
Wendy has a Simba and a Patamon. Yeah.
Oh,
So okay, here's a cool question though. When you were a kid, what was that one fucking neighbor, make the neighbors jealous toy that you got where you're just like, I had this motherfucker?
the first PlayStation before anybody really knew what it was.
Oh, wow.
I got a 93. No, I'm sorry, 95 opening year, like first year it came out in my small New Jersey town. It hadn't. It'd been in game magazines, but it wasn't advertised on television. Like, nobody really knew what it was. And I had one, and it wasn't until a year or two later that every other kid in the neighborhood started getting theirs. So. The one toy I got. All the other toys, I never fucking got them. I never got like the G.I. Joe aircraft carrier.
I got the aircraft carrier. I had the aircraft carrier.
Oh, you son of a bitch! Like that was
dude.
Yeah.
And just so you guys know, I'm sure Mike would share this opinion with me. We all hated that motherfucker who had the aircraft carrier.
Oh, you should.
You never let anybody play with it. You had all the action figures and the extras.
With the jets that land on the fucking tarmac.
Yeah.
It was 7 feet long, right?
Yeah. You're up there with the guy who had the Transformer City one. And
I didn't have that one.
Did you bring it to school? Your G.I. Joe thing?
No, never.
You can't take it anywhere. No.
Okay.
There's no way. I would need my mom to drop me off at school, and I'd need my 3 brothers to help me carry it. Like that thing was a monster.
Yeah. I grew up in a very rich neighborhood, so they used to bring their shit to school.
You're so stupid.
Fuck those kids.
Yeah,
they don't give a shit.
I never had that toy growing up. Everybody else had the toy before I had it. So I was like, I grew up hating everyone.
I know it's hard to believe, but I really was not well off. Like my family was was quite poor. Me getting that was, I think, actually, like, family helped to pay for it.
Okay.
Because that thing was fucking expensive. Yeah. So that was like, we're gonna get him something really cool this year. So
That's awesome.
When you tell me you're from Canada, I never thought for once you were super rich.
good, because yeah,
That's a good joke. You can do that now. Come on.
you were right.
There's a Canadian out there that's really pissed off at that comment right now. He's like, I'm never listening to Raven again, talking shit about Canadians.
Canceled. Man, we have such a good sense of humor about ourselves. We make fun of ourselves way harder than you guys do.
Yeah, that's cool.
Honestly, American jokes have gotten so boring because they all fucking have the same. And it's just so, like, you hear it and you're like, oh, get a little, just, come on, get original.
I can see that. Yeah, like I used to love stand-up comedy, and there's not a lot of, like, great stuff out there right now as far as stand-up comedy goes.
Oh, it's out there. You just have to discover it. It's like anything else. There's these rare gems, like you were talking about Bill Burr.
I love Bill Burr. Yeah,
I can wait a long enough time and just randomly put on a podcast of his, and I'm fucking rolling.
Oh,
you know?
Bill Burr, Tom Segura, Bert Kreischer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Bert's okay. Bert's a little hit or miss for me.
I get that.
You know?
But I mean, obviously, you've heard the Russian mob story. Oh my! Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
So
check it out.
good.
Dude, honestly, it's him going for 10 minutes about this story that happened to him when he was in college in Florida. It is fucked up. He says the whole thing shirtless with his gut out, and it's fucking hilarious. This was the joke that made him. Like, that story fucking blew his career up. That's where it all came from. So if you don't like his other stuff, or if it's hit or miss, that's fine. But that story is gold.
All right.
It's gold.
Yeah,
What about George Carlin? You don't ever listen to George Carlin?
Oh,
me? I used to love George Carlin. When I was
that's
a teenager. Oh my God.
if you look at Bill Burr, it feels very George Carlin. Yeah, that kind of thing.
But he's not swiping from Carlin.
No, he's not. He's his own person. But
Yeah.
you can sense the sensibilities.
It's like J. Scott Campbell.
Yeah.
You know, they don't look anything alike, but they're both great.
Yeah.
And one trained the other. So
Wait, who trained Jay?
J. Scott, Jim Lee.
Really?
You didn't know that?
No, I never fucking knew that.
Yeah, Jim Lee discovered J. Scott Campbell and took him into Wildstorm. And
That's right. Jim did Jen.
Huh?
Yeah.
Jim did Jim created Gen 13, didn't he?
Right. Him and Brandon Choi created Gen 13, and they
That's
hired
right.
But that was J. Scott Campbell's, premiere project.
Jim Lee was J. Scott Campbell's Raven Gregory.
Right.
What happened to Brandon?
Huh?
What happened to Brandon Choi?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what happened to Brandon Choi.
Yeah, he disappeared.
But I've heard stories like, it was J. Scott Campbell, Jim Lee in the studio. They had the Wildstorm studio, and in one office space was J. Scott Campbell and Adam Hughes. Like, they shared an office together right next to each other, just drawing and shit. Like, man,
Wow.
imagine being in that fucking room. Holy shit.
Being a fly on that wall.
It would have been really nice if you had got to. I mean, I don't know how much you experienced it at the Kubert School, but it would have been nice if you had got to have that bullpen type. Like you guys all came up at the same. Like you and Spade came up at the same time. Chatsuitz, Ebas, freaking. Who else was?
Ebas was ahead of us quite a bit, but he was part of our group.
Yeah, he was part of the kind of collective. But it would have been nice if you had got to experience that, everybody feeding off. Because whenever we would do like a Zenoscope summit with stories, man, having all those people together and just like bouncing ideas, and everybody's like, you see somebody doing something really good and you're like, oh, I want to do something super good. And then everybody keeps raising the bar and shit,
Yeah, we had that a little bit at Kubert School. A little bit of it. It was always friendly. It was never anything ugly. But it was really hard because they worked us so hard. A lot of times we were all rushing through every project. So you wanted to have that competitive edge on some of your friends and stuff like that. And you did every once in a while. It it was a bullpen type of environment, but it was still it was different in the same way. It's like we were kids playing house almost.
Did you take a lot of that stuff with you into your career?
No, not really. Well, as far as the skill, yeah, the skill that I picked up along the way, absolutely. The competitiveness too. Like, yeah, I can be pretty competitive. I find out a lot of artists in the industry don't like being competitive. But I think friendly competition, you know, like Ryan Kincaid and I used to have it. It was always friendly. Just busting each other's balls, or Ryan would put something out and like, oh, that's really good. You know, the next thing I do, okay, I got to go on top of Ryan a little bit, you know, and then I'd put something out and he would do the same. But I find a lot of artists, especially right now, they don't seem to enjoy that. Like, they're really sensitive about that stuff. And I come from a blue collar background. Like, I grew up working at a lumber yard. You know, I was a plumber for a long time. Busting balls and giving each other shit is like, you know, where it's at. And I find a lot of the industry.
Well, dude, the whole entire point of that kind of competition is, as long as it's not mean-spirited, as long as you're not doing shady shit.
No.
I would never be offended by a comedian being better than me. It just makes me want to be better, you know?
Yeah, you get better, right? Exactly.
Just like I'm always going to be better than Pat Chan. He's never going to be able to write as good as me. He's going to try to come up with stories that could get on my level, but it's just not possible. It's like an ant trying to box with God. It's just, but you know what? I enjoy the friendly little rivalry we have. Yeah. Do you have somebody like that besides Kincaid that you and them are just kind of like, look?
Not anymore. Like Ryan Kincaid, like, it's kind of gotten to the point where, like, you know, he's legit really good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's there.
He came up into his own, and it's kind of like, all right, man, you know, mad respect, all that stuff. Like, it was fun while it lasted, you know.
Yeah.
We're good. We're still friends and all, but we don't really compete like we used to.
When Debalfo first came to Zenescope, I used to haze him nonstop. Yeah,
you guys used to haze me all the time, man.
Holy shit. It was so much fun. But it was, you know, you do this kind of shit out of love, you know? And it also kind of tells you what a person, like, who a person is. You get to know if, like, I've posted this on Facebook not very long ago, but the only people I make fun of or talk shit to are my closest fucking friends. You know, I won't make fun of you if I don't like you, because it's just not my nature. But there's a real kinship in having somebody that you can just be yourself with, you know, and just shoot the shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Mike's mine. Mike's, I love him. He's so wonderful.
I have
good dental care and all that shit. He smiles and shows his teeth. I smile like this.
Good full gummer. I have my good buddy. Actually, you met him the other day, Raven. Travis Gibb is kind of my dude, and he and I haze each other. And every time we do a Kickstarter, we'll be like, I got to hit higher than this financial number or this backer count or whatever. And we just kind of have that fun little thing back and forth. And it's never like, I want to do better than you. It's that I want to raise the bar, you know? And so I'm going to raise the bar. So yeah, I think, he actually beat me. He beat the shit out of me. I had beaten him in financial gains. You know, I was at my last one was at like 5,800.
Chuck, help me out with this real quick, because I need multiple people to say this. Everybody listening, I need you to jump in on this as well.
Okay.
Please let Mike know that he'll easily hit over 100 grand when he finally does his Kickstarter. I keep telling him to launch he has this book he's been working on for about, how old are you now, Mike?
42 now.
So he's been working on this book for about 50 years. When he was a glimmer in his father's eye, you know, and he's just shut up. He always fucking slips in like a fucking penis in the night. So yeah, I've been trying to tell him for years he needs to do this Kickstarter, because it's all the characters are so cool, the story ideas are amazing.
Yeah.
And I don't think he really believes in himself. He doesn't hear enough how great he is. So tell him.
Yeah, dude. Well, I've already spoken. Holy shit. Wendy actually has a question for you.
Yeah, what's up?
He says, other than J. Scott Campbell, what other artists do you look up to or enjoy?
Oh man, okay. I'll start with the top three. It's like, and in no particular order: Scott Campbell, Jim Lee, and Greg Capullo. That's top three always. But I also I've always loved Kevin Eastman's work since I was a little kid. Because of Ninja Turtles, obviously. But I was looking at the shit and looking for it in the '90s, and I used to get laughed at comic book stores sometimes. I'd go in there and be like, "Hey, do you guys have any Ninja Turtle comics?" And they'd be like, "No, like nobody wants that stuff. Like, unless you got number one, nobody gives a shit." That's kind of the vibe I would get from them. And I was 14, 15 years old, even 20, 22 years old, and people were saying that to me. Like, not that they didn't appreciate Kevin's work or anything, but nobody cared about Ninja Turtles.
Did you read The Last Ronin yet?
No, I haven't. But you know how it is.
The trade?
No, I got individual issues. Like, I was buying as they're coming out.
Do you have them all?
No, not all of them. But
what do you mean you don't have them? I thought you said you were getting them as they were coming out.
Yeah, I mean,
Squirrel Shaver needs to happen.
There it is. Yeah, hey Chad.
Where did that name come from?
Squirrel Shaver?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's talk about the artist thing first. We'll do that, and then I'll talk about the Squirrel Shaver thing.
Okay.
But anyway, Jason, Kevin Eastman, Dean Yeagle, Chuck Jones was huge on me. Looney Tunes. People know.
Oh wow, yeah.
So Chuck Jones, he also did the original Grinch cartoon. So he was a big influence on me when I was young, before comic books even, and it kind of carried through into my 20s and into my art training and all that stuff. Adam Hughes, I really like Adam Hughes a lot recently. Like I kind of go in these wavy motions with artists, like music. Like one day you're really into Linkin Park for a few months, and then you're into I don't know, fucking
System of a Down or something.
Down for 6 months. I do the same thing with artists. So
yeah.
Recently, I've been in an Adam Hughes kick. I'm just like, man, everything Adam does is fucking amazing, And I was looking at his work. Trying to think.
What about Silvestri?
Yeah, I like the Silvestri stuff. That's a whole other story there. I didn't get as into Silvestri's work as a kid because it wasn't as exposed to me as some other artists for some reason. Either it got bought up before I can get to the store, or some store just didn't. Well, I can't say they didn't get it. Everyone was getting fucking comic books back then. But I never got exposed to Silvestri as much as some like Jim Lee and Greg Capullo. So that's kind of where the mainstream artists started for me. And eventually I found Silvestri. Like, God, in my 20s, I think I started getting really into his stuff. And I was following his X-Men run when he was on New X-Men. He came to Atomic Comics around that time and did a signing. I went to go see him and brought my portfolio and shit. And that was a cool story. When I met Mark Silvestri at Atomic Comics here, I hadn't been published yet or anything like that. I just moved to Phoenix, and he came to do a signing, and I went up to meet him, and I brought what portfolio I had at the time. This is before I even drew the piece that you saw, I think. And I showed him my stuff, and he flipped through it real fast because there was a huge line and shit like that. And he goes, "Oh, this is really good stuff." He's, "Oh man, what did he say?" Because Mary walked out of there so proud of me by what he said. He said something like, "The kid's got a gift. Stick with him," is what he said to Mary at the time. That's what he said, something like that.
Wow.
I walked out and holy shit, did Mark Silvestri just fucking say that to me? I don't know. To this
that
day,
will carry you forever, dude. Like that.
Yeah. So it's Mark Silvestri's. He didn't play a small part. I can't say that.
Isn't it funny how even you at this point in your career can see an artist and you can tell if they put in the effort and they put in the work, they're gonna become something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you looked at that art now, would you see what you're capable of in the future with the eye that you now have, having seen shit through your career?
For me, it's so hard to do that with myself.
Right.
I can do that maybe with other artists. Yeah, it happens sometimes. Sometimes I'll meet a kid who's anywhere between 8 and 15, and I'll see his artwork, and I can look at it and be like, all right, yeah, and this kid's got something here. If he keeps with this, he can make something of himself, even as far as 8 to 10 years old. Sometimes you can see it. More often, it comes out more prevalently in their teens.
Yeah.
My daughter's getting there right now, Kaylee. She's been doodling a lot, and she's doing some sketches, and it's sneaking up on me. And the other day, I was cleaning her room, and I found some sketches, and I thought that to myself. I was like, oh, okay, look, she's got something here. Look at that. All right, maybe something went through the bloodstream.
It's crazy that the best advice and the worst advice to get from the creative process from somebody is keep on doing it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But you can't see that 5 years of doing something over and over again makes a difference. But all you see is the current thing you're working on. You can't like see the process until you're years in the future and you look back and then you say, oh, wow, I was really bad. But there's that gem of who I would become one day in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never thought about that, but I should try that sometime. You know, because like the piece that you're talking about earlier, the what I put up in the comic book store that you saw, that comes to mind immediately during this conversation. And like, because that basically got me discovered. Yeah, if I look at that now, would I be able to look at it and say, okay, I can kind of see what Raven was seeing?
Oh, I could definitely see it. Like I could still see your Campbell influences, but you keep hitting this gear, man, where you'll post a picture and I'll see your covers for months at a time, and then all of a sudden it's like new and improved with Coke flavor, Mike.
Mike, did you do the cover for Raven, which was him with the all the naked ladies on the sign that said "We'll write for food"?
No, that was Mike Chrome. That's a great piece, though.
Oh, okay, yeah, that is a ridiculous piece.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah, and I didn't know if you other creators out there know this, but if you commission a cover that has your image on the cover, like you personally and your, me, big fat black, you could probably get the original art for a fairly reasonable price because nobody will buy it. Because nobody wanted Naked Raven.
Yeah, that's funny. I probably would have bought that had I seen it up for sale.
That should have gone up on your OnlyFans or some kind of Patreon.
Yeah, it should have the paywall of itself, like your butt.
Right?
Oh, I'll sell it one day.
You're
I'll never sell that shit. That's like
that's.
You still have your first cover, right?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I sold that.
You sold it?
Oh, you don't remember this? You were there with me.
No.
You're the one who
I
told
thought
me
you said you'd never sell it.
No, you're the one who told me to put a price tag on it and what to sell it for.
Oh shit!
Oh.
So
Yeah,
the Wonderland Annual got sold?
Yeah, okay, so here's the story. So
Okay.
I get discovered in 2009, and within a year I signed exclusive to Zenoscope Entertainment. And they take me to C2E2 2010. It's the first year C2E2 ever happens. It's a brand new show. And it's my first big convention out of my home state by myself, with the company. It's a big move for me. And I have very few original art at that time. I have maybe 10 covers out. And I have the original art from my very first cover to Wonderland Annual #1 in my portfolio. And Raven goes, "Are you going to sell that?" And I go, "No, I don't think I ever want to sell it. I think I want to keep this very first one, just so I always have it, whether I like it or not. It means something to me. It's like a piece of a diary in a way." And Raven's like, "That's cool. I can respect that." And a little bit later, he comes over. He goes, "Man, I was thinking, so what if you just put a price tag on that first cover, but make it a number that you don't think you'll ever get for that piece of artwork? Like make it, scare away the customer price." And I'm like, "Oh man, I don't know. Okay, let me wrestle with that for a little bit." And I did for like a few hours. And I remember calling my wife and talking to her about it. I'm like, "This is what Raven thinks. Like, what do you think?" And she goes, "Well, consider it. It's really your decision." She says, "I'm not in this for the money. I guess I would like to have the artwork, but if you can get, a good chunk of change for it, it could help us out." So I was like, all right. So I go back to Raven and we discuss a price, and we end up landing on $600. That's how much I'm going to sell it for, $600.
Okay.
There's no way anyone's going to throw $600 at my artwork at this point.
The number in my head was 1,000.
Yeah. See, that would have been like, I would have been like, "Chuck, you're crazy, man. Like, I don't want to scare away that."
That's a crazy number. Yeah, it should be.
Yeah. So yeah, $600.
Also, keep in mind, it was a spec cover he did.
Yes, it was a spec cover. It wasn't even commissioned by Zenoscope. Yeah.
So what does spec mean?
So
do you want to explain?
Every artist in the industry who companies aren't sure they want to pay to do a cover, if you don't have like a vast portfolio of work to showcase to them, they'll say, "Well, if you want to submit a spec cover," like Nei did some spec colors for Wonderland before she was brought in. So me and Mike started talking about, "Oh, come on, dude, let's come up with this idea." And we went to the grocery store and looked at like bread. we went to a bakery. We're like,
grocery store to get inspiration for reference,
Yeah.
like that.
we're like, and Mike turned in like I think 2 spec covers, and after the second one, they were like, no, we'll start booking them on covers, and they never let him go.
No, I did a number of spec covers. It was at least 4 to 6 over the course of several months. Every 2 weeks, I would shoot Ralph a new image, unsolicited.
Okay.
And eventually, they ended up taking and publishing the very first one I did, which became the very first spec cover I ever sent to Zenoscope. They ended up using as my first published cover, probably 5 months later, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Trying a while back, I had pitched them an idea to have everybody revisit their first piece.
Oh no way! I would never draw that again. No, it's not fun for us. Not for me anyway.
I mean, in your style now.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. But we're like redrawing something I've already drawn. That doesn't really, it doesn't really get me erect in any sort of way.
Okay.
Yeah, like I already fucked that bitch. Why do I want to do it again? It's like that, you know. I know her intimately.
By the way, I would like to apologize to any the community of bitches out there. Mike was not saying anything reflective of the community. We love and adore you.
I never felt like he was as a spokesman for the bitch community.
Yeah,
no, I thought we were good.
Please, Pat, don't take offense to that. Sometimes Pat take things a little bit personal. You still my bitch, baby. I love you.
No, go ahead.
So yeah, anyway, I put a $600 price tag on this first piece of artwork, and it's my scareaway price. Like no one's gonna throw $600 at this ever, you know. And I don't remember when, but it sold during that show, during that weekend. That 3 days we were in Chicago for C2E2, it sold that weekend. And Raven and I were like, "Dude, you sold it! We made fucking stripper money!" And we went to the fucking strip club afterwards. I remember that. Yep.
Hey, do you remember who you sold it to? Is he a repeat customer?
He was for a while, yeah. Yeah, I know exactly who bought it then. I might still have it now. I don't know.
I would talk to him and I would tell him, if you're ever going to give it away, like sell that piece, could you please come to me first?
Yeah. It's
all I ask. I would tell him that.
It's crossed my mind a few times.
Yeah.
So wasn't there a piece that you were keeping for your daughter or something?
Yeah, I have several.
What was that? There was a cover you had told me that you would never sell.
A lot of that changed when I got divorced, dude.
Me too. I sold my whole comic book collection.
Yeah, it got in all sorts of ways. Things got rough for a little while. Some pieces I sold I said I would never sell.
Yeah,
because they meant something to my wife, or there was an emotional attachment to it with the marriage in some way. And part of my healing process was selling some of that stuff, unfortunately. And I don't really regret selling it.
I do gotta say,
my kids. I do still have several pieces for my kids. All the Squirrel Girl stuff that I've ever drawn is still here.
One of the greatest evolutions you had to your style, and this is not to say your style was ever bad in any way, but the second you stopped drawing your wife on covers, you got so good.
No, I don't agree with that. Actually,
no, you don't. No, I always thought she was on the covers. Like, you remember Eric? Eric used to always, if you look at Eric's art, and again, Eric's fucking awesome.
Yeah, of course.
But Eric's drawing Joe.
A little bit.
On every cover, you can see the influences versus his style back then.
It definitely changed. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But I disagree. I still like the artwork that I drew back then. The faces, usually specifically. And in some ways, I still try to recapture that sometimes, honestly. Yeah, and it's not to get Mary back or anything like that. I don't know what it is about it. It's weird. It's almost.
I don't know. I love your faces now. Your faces are wickedly good. I mean, and a lot of artists. I don't know if you agree with this, Chuck, but you notice how if you see a Campbell piece, you know that's Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but there's a particular type of artist who can draw a face, and each face is unique in itself, but it's the same artist. Whereas there's a lot of artists, especially in that middle ground of their, mastering their craft, where their faces get canonized over and over again.
Yeah,
I know that phase. Yeah.
That you never do that with your new stuff. All your new stuff, every face looks perfect.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks.
Even if say a girl is missing a leg and looks like an amputee, face is amazing.
No, that is true. I could say that about my own work. I could draw some gnarly shit and put a girl's face on there, and it'll be a pretty fucking face.
Mike did this amazing cover, and everybody loved it. And I saw it, and I was like, Mike, is she missing her leg? And the perspective of it made it look like she was
missing a leg. If you really looked at it and picked it apart that way, like wanting to see that.
Yeah. And every amputee in the amputee community was just like, we love Mike Debalfo for standing up for us, for representing us.
I'm amputee friendly. That's what I'm trying to say.
Marissa, you missed it. We were talking about you earlier.
What's perfect, Marissa?
Yeah, we were dick riding you, Marissa. We were talking very highly of you.
Raven was very highly, yes.
Oh, dude, I actually did the email, Mike. I don't know if you've ever done this for anybody else. So Marissa did a mermaid piece.
Oh.
And I took a screen capture of it and I sent it to Dave. And I'm like, dude, look at this.
Okay, cool.
She's getting fucking good. You know that email you send to somebody? You're like, dude, check this out. Yeah, I finally did that.
I love to be dick ridden.
I also like that.
we already knew that, Raven. You don't got to tell us again.
Yeah. It's been a long time, Mike. I'm lonely. I'm so lonely.
Really? You almost never talk about it.
I know, right? Who would think?
I'm so surprised. Someone the other day was like, I forget who it was, but someone said the other day, man, Raven, you were thirsty as fuck. And I was like, yeah, that's a pretty good way of putting it.
Whoever Numb Slug is that said that Mike looks like that one Italian singer, thank you. I am going to Google Italian singers, and I'm gonna make fun of Mike with that forever.
All right.
Who's Dixon Balzamin? That is that an Italian name you recognize?
Yeah, no. I guess they were related.
What the hell's going on over here?
Excuse me. Oh, I just sneezed huge. Excuse me.
You're good. What were we talking about?
Oh, we were talking about what position is our favorite in the bedroom.
No.
All of them.
Dude, exactly. Me too.
We were talking. I would love to do this because if Steph's watching, it's going to piss him off. And I love to piss off Steph Wilson every chance I get. If you guys are looking for upcoming artists, I would say that one of the artists that I've been watching and a really good buddy of mine who's done some covers for me is Chris Mad. And if you have the chance to check out his work, he goes to a lot of shows. Great dude. He's done work for like Source Point and stuff, but fucking love his work. And we're working on some covers. Yeah, see, Steph, I'm gonna fuck you, bud. If you get a chance to check out Chris Mad's work, it's fucking killer.
Yeah. But Raven, okay, I know you're talking about as far as Raven writing that email. That's cool. Thanks for doing that.
Hey, speaking of that, Mike, is there, besides Marissa, is there any new artist that's really caught your eye where you're like, holy shit, this kid, like me and Pat were talking the other day. We had Chuck had Chris, what's his last name again?
Tamasma.
Chris Tamasma. This guy is just, he figured out how to beat the algorithm.
Yeah.
We see him he's very interactive with fans. He doesn't rub anyone the wrong way. And it got to a point where I bought one of his books just because he was a nice guy. I've never read it. And you have to be really freaking cool for somebody to shell money out on something they never are going to read.
That's very true. It's hard to sell a story as opposed to, yes.
I'm good, but he sells himself so well. So I told Chuck, I'm like, yeah, man, Pat, let's give him a little boost. Let's bring him on because he's an awesome person. Do you have anyone besides Marissa that you see and you're like, man, this kid, he's gonna do it, you know?
Yeah. My news feeds on all my social media is so chock full of artists and things like that. There's people that have popped up. I don't want to say anything because I don't want to give any egos that might not be deserving, but there is a dude who's drawing. Hold on a second. Wait. Hang on a second.
He's like, man, I don't know, man. I don't want to make somebody who doesn't deserve it too happy.
Steph says Chris Matt is a hack, and then Chris Matt says, hell yeah, he is.
Now, there's a kid right now doing a Batman title. What was his name? Fucking killer work, though, man. I just picked up a few of his issues. I was at a store a couple of weeks ago. He's drawing a Batman title. It's got, well, I can say it's got Harley and Poison Ivy in it. That's like every fucking Batman comic.
Yeah, that's every book, dude. That's
Scarecrow's the main bad guy. I want to say his name was Jorge or something I want to say.
Okay.
Oh, this kid's fucking amazing, man.
Really?
Yeah.
If you come across it, show me, because I haven't been in the comic book store in like over a month. Because I said, sales were just down.
If you guys want to give me a minute, I can try to find the book.
Yeah, go ahead. See, it's funny because for me, I don't go to the comic book store. My comic book store is Kickstarter. So I have stuff. Oh yeah, man, I have fucking mail coming in all the fucking time for Kickstarters. Okay. Oh yeah, and dude, there's so much good shit going on there.
By the way, Stone Cold just came back.
That was what I was hearing. That's cool.
Yeah, it's happening right now. And he does look like he's in good shape.
Oh, I don't doubt it, dude. That guy kept doing like shows where he had to look good and all that kind of stuff. There's a couple of those older guys who have stayed in shape really well. Obviously, The Rock, Austin, Goldberg.
Yeah.
Has taken good care of himself, even though he has like those fucking like home decoration shows and shit.
Goldberg does?
Yeah, he had like a DIY house building show or some shit.
Get the shit out of here.
I'm not, dude. The celebrities who have. Did you know that fucking Vanilla Ice was a carpenter? He had a fucking carpentry show.
No, I knew Jesus was a carpenter, but I didn't know Vanilla Ice was.
He ain't no Jesus.
Yeah, he's definitely not no Jesus. You know what'd be really cool if when Mike walks back and forth across the camera, if we put that that British I can't remember what it's called. Yeah, that would be hilarious.
Oh, the Benny Hill music?
There you go.
Make him go really fast.
Yes, that would be
actually, you know what'd be hilarious? If I just ended the show now, while he's out there trying to punch it, just be like, well, thanks, everybody. Have a good day. My name is Chuck, and hit end, and that's it. He comes back, he's like, what the fuck? Yeah, we were done. Fuck
he's never gonna watch this again.
I know. That's like exactly the way you don't want to handle a dude. Like you look up to and you're like, I'm gonna fuck with this guy. And he's like, what's the newbie fucking with me for? Holy shit.
Dude, that's the main reason I even do these podcasts. It's to punch down on Pat because he can't hit back.
He doesn't do as many as he used to.
Yeah, he used to do a lot.
Well, looking at the backdrops, one of these is not like the other. True story. You know what, though? In all honesty, because I fucking hate this house. This house we live in is too small.
Yeah.
But when we move into a bigger house, I am really excited to have a nice backdrop. Like, we have so much cool little collectibles that I would love to be able to show off. We just haven't been able to. Mike is looking for the comic in the bathroom. It's actually the third bathroom to the left.
You know, whenever anybody leaves the screen, I automatically assume they're murdering somebody in the background. Like somebody escaped from the dungeon. Like
he's moving a body.
Yeah, like that's how Mike gets his poses so perfect in his covers. He has somebody wrapped up in a basement.
It's like some Seven bullshit, just keeping them barely alive and propping them up.
Oh man, that'd be a great serial killer.
That's actually we should make that story, dude. We should fucking make that story.
We can freaking do it, man.
Let's do it. Sarah's here. Hey, hun, what's up?
Hey,
she loves his studio.
Oh, get out of here. You're biased, Marissa.
This is the intermission. Mike's maid moved the comic. That's good, man. That's good.
Making my jokes.
Yeah, see? I like it. Marissa says, I did not move his comic. I love that.
What
I would have.
What if Mike like fell down somewhere and he's like, I can't get up, and we're just making jokes about him?
That's brutal.
Oh,
Poor dude,
man.
like broke his ankle.
Oh,
Hey!
My ball not getting hurt. That's not fun, man.
Could you hear us the whole time?
No. I want to find
Oh, Chuck, you're awesome.
I want to find the comic book. I don't know what that. Oh well, it's fucking gone. I got comic books all over this goddamn room, and they're just in stacks everywhere. You know.
Oh.
Some of it's organized.
Oh, you couldn't find it?
Not right now. The guy's name is. I really want to say his name's Jorge. Can't take a guess on the last name right now, but he's drawing a Batman title. It was like a miniseries that recently came out, and he's at DC. It's fucking amazing.
I'll see if I can track him down on Google for you real quick. In the meantime, tell us a little bit about the changes you've done in your process. I don't know.
Hey, Mike, you know, Chuck was talking about something on the last podcast I found was absolutely fascinating.
Oh.
He had a conversation, and I always point out it's a really naive kind of point of view, but it's like spiritually, like your soul, it's really good for you. He was talking about when you go to a convention, to look at it as if you're going on vacation.
Oh yeah, that's exactly why I do these days. Yeah.
Yeah, like if you go on vacation, you're not going on vacation to make money.
No, I'm going to have fun.
Yeah. So if you don't have that I have to make this much money attitude, because people can kind of smell that on you if you haven't made that money.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I thought that was really interesting, because me and Mike were talking, like, back in the day, we used to make $300 and we were like, holy shit, we're rich.
Right.
Oh my
dude, yeah, right. Remember that?
Yeah, like a good signing.
They were like, mad fucking money.
Yeah.
So we do have a couple. We have Jorge Jimenez.
You hate wearing shorts, Morris. You're right, but I'm wearing shorts because it's fucking uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's hot as shit, man.
I don't like it. It snuck up on me.
I'm in Texas, hot here too. Jorge Fornes.
Yeah, that's him. That's him.
That sounds right.
Him?
Yeah,
Jorge Fornes.
I have no idea. I'm just saying that's him.
He's done Batman, Superman, Justice League, Super Son, Superboy, Earth 2.
Say it again, Jorge.
Jorge Fornes. Fornes.
No, it's not the guy.
No.
Jorge
Molina?
Maybe. That sounds.
Molina?
MOL?
Yeah, MOL. Mike, Oliver, Linda, Indigo, Nightcrawler, asshole.
No, not this guy either. Fuck, man. You guys all follow me on Facebook. I'll find it and I'll post about it. This guy does really cool work though. He does really cool things with double page splashes, which is nice to see. It reminds me of like comic books when the image days were around, page layouts. When they were, it was kind of the page layouts back then were mainly to showcase the art, and that's exactly what his page layouts are doing, and I really like that. And I'm curious to see what he's doing.
Jorge Wilson? Unlikely.
You never know.
Dude, I really enjoy seeing Mike's layouts. He has these little thumbnail things that show all these different poses when he's coming up with the concept for a cover that I always thought was so fascinating, like watching Knee-Eye Color and how you're picking your palettes and how one thing kind of, and he'll look at one and be like, and I'm like, oh my God, this is great. And he's like, it didn't work. And I love that. It's the elemental part of the creation process, you know.
Oh, yeah, I'm in bigger competition with myself than anyone else I've ever met.
Yeah.
I made a call. You know, when you're editing, you often make calls and you kind of go, man, you know, I don't think this would work or that would work, and it happens. And I got a script that came to me, and someone did a splash page leading into a double page spread splash.
Yeah, that could work. Yeah.
And I know that it could work, but I felt like storytelling wise, especially since they weren't in like a big fight or anything, like there was a bunch of things happening. I was like, it's kind of lazy. Like you're kind of slowing down the story.
Mhm.
And I know that the artist was an author, or the writer was also an artist. So I know that that's fun for them to do, and probably a little easier than doing a lot of panels.
Mhm.
But like story wise,
Okay.
how do you feel?
That's a good point, actually. Now that you bring it up, a splash page does it these days. We'll say specifically, it does take away from the pacing.
Yeah.
And I do think that when I look at an image book from the '90s, when I look at Wildcats or Cyberforce or anything like that, like there's a double page splash at least twice in the book. You know?
Yeah.
And when I go through the book, I'm like, I stop at that splash page and I look for a long time. Whereas when it's a paneled page, I'm going to stop and I'm going to look quite a bit, but I'm still going to go through that page much faster. So you're right. It's interesting you say that. And I'm actually glad that you said that because I hadn't considered that before, especially with today's modern market. It's not about the flashy gimmicks these days. It's not about the image tactics that they did to draw books back then. Like you're saying, it's much more panel based and fast paced storytelling. If you get a splash page, it's something fucking important.
Yes. Yeah.
It's whereas in the '90s, a splash page and an old splash page was used like, I feel like drawing that here. You know?
Yeah.
You didn't really take into account the story sometimes.
Yeah, and that's my general philosophy. And the thing is I work for someone else, so all I can do is tell you like personally where I see, where the industry kind of is, where what fans are looking for, and all that kind of shit. That this doesn't necessarily work, and it does break down. And to be fair, they were trying to do that in an 8-page story, which I was like, dude, that's like when almost half your pages are splash pages.
Yeah, that's a little lazy then.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but there's some people who do it specifically for creative reasons. I remember Bendis did a book with, I believe it was Frank Cho. God, I love Frank Cho. I have his whole Fight Girl series. I still haven't read any of it, but I can't wait to read it.
We've got his hardcover that he did on Kickstarter recently. It's fucking gorgeous.
He was the first. He was the first Kickstarter guy, I think, who was like knocking out big numbers, like insane numbers. And then who was the other one? Ben Templesmith was the next one. And some of these cats made so much money, they were just like, forget comics, we're out. we're set.
That definitely happens. Yep.
I went from writing 5 comic books a month to writing 2 a year because Kickstarter was so lucrative. So I mean, but I have no idea what I was talking about. I totally lost my train of thought, went off the rail, and I'm not even high.
We've been talking about the splash pages and stuff, but Raven,
if it's done specifically for a creative, not a lot of things are done for time reasons. Like, say a script is for one. I don't know if you guys ever have to deal. Well, I know Mike doesn't have to deal with this, but I know he knows the feeling when you get booked on a cover. Probably 99% is a chick cover, right?
Yeah.
Whenever I write a story, 99.9% are there has to be an action, big blow up, big something, big fight, big. It can't just be, hey, I want to do a character-driven story and really just delve into these characters. You can do that, but you have to work within the confines of whatever company you're working for.
Yeah.
And like you get used to it very fast. You know what's expected of you. You start to read their minds. You know what they want. Whereas at the beginning, you're kind of just flailing all over the place. You don't specifically know what they're looking for. And then you become what they're looking for, Yeah,
that's so true. That's prolific what you just said there. And I agree with it 100%. You attain what is essentially your style in a way, but it's not like a style I'll say for drawing, but even it's probably for writing as well. It's not necessarily how you draw, but it's like your layout, for art, that's how it is. Like I learned, what not necessarily what poses, but I do know what poses guarantee a sale. I also know what layout that guarantees a sale.
Yeah,
so
like you do a cover and you know if it's going to be a hit.
yeah, absolutely. And sometimes I know as early on as like drawing one of those little thumbnail sketches that Raven was telling about. Like those little 2-inch tall figures. Like I could tell sometimes in those, like, oh, this is gonna be an awesome cover. It's gonna sell out.
I know we have to go soon because Raven has some stuff going on, and we have been going for over an hour and a half. But Mike, are there any covers that fucking surprise you? And Raven, same for you. Is there any work that you did where you're like, oh, this is good, and people fucking went mental for it? And you're like, oh, I didn't expect that.
Mike drew titties. Mike did just titties. He wanted to do a cover with just titties. It sells amazing. Just boobs.
When you find it, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I want you to be wrong.
There was a few of them along the way that did that. Yeah. The one that comes to mind immediately, and it's so obvious now, was the first May the 4th Star Wars parody or cosplay cover that Counterpoint Comics did with Nutty. Like I did that, and I didn't think it was gonna go like poorly. I was like, oh, that's a fun idea. Like I don't think I've ever drawn a slave layout on a cover, and they put that out, and holy fucking shit! You want to talk about printing money,
Right?
Yeah, that thing is.
Now, Wendy has a question. I'm not sure that these guys can answer it because I don't know if they've ever run talent hunts before. But Wendy asks opinion, since you're talking about publishers' expectations in something like the Top Cow talent hunt, would they be looking for something specific? In other words, are there like predetermined expectations?
Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely trends that happen in comic books, and when you're submitting to a company, you want to be pitching yourself with those trends intact in whatever you're doing, whether it's writing or drawing, or even inking or coloring. You want to gear yourself towards whatever the trend is at that time, and it changes all the time. It's like music, and even within each company, each individual company has their own ambiance, I guess you could say, and like Marvel's ambiance is different than DC's ambiance. And so if you're pitching to Marvel or DC, you're going to want to, of course, play with their characters, and then and then try to make it looks like it fits in their library. You know, at that current time.
Yeah,
like an aesthetic
ability that you kind of get. It's like all Disney films are different, but they're all Disney.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's true.
At any given time, Yeah.
Yeah. Or Pixar or any that. Yeah, I feel yeah. That makes sense. Cool. Guys, Raven, I know you have to go. Do you guys want to let everybody know before we leave where they can kind of track you down and pick up some of your amazing stuff? Mike, you want to let everyone know?
Yeah, on Facebook under Mike Debalfo, or on Instagram under Mike Debalfo. I think it's all one word. I'm pretty active on both of those. As far as my work, you can buy it through Zenoscope. You can buy it through Coffin Comics. I can just rattle off names right now. Basically, follow me on Facebook, and you'll hear all about where you can buy Mike Debalfo's published work and original artwork and all that fun stuff that comes in between.
Sweet. Raven?
And I can be found on OnlyFans Debalfo / likes Raven naked.
Oh, this guy.
Find all my content. It's remember, OnlyFans Debalfo likes Raven naked. Don't forget the slash. He likes it in between.
Buy that domain before you got to it, man. Now it's yours. Fucking another gold mine lost down the tubes.
Yeah, don't worry about it. The check won't clear.
No, I know. It didn't last time. So I'm not counting on it.
Great hanging out with you guys. Mike, we need to go see a movie. Everybody out there, keep masturbating to our faces. I know that's what you enjoy. That's why you're here.
Follow Raven on Pornhub.
And you guys obviously know where to find me because I'm here.
There you are.
On Pornhub.
What if you went on Pornhub and you saw my ass? What if you saw my ass? Just Raven ass. Like, oh my God, he did get on Pornhub.
I'd probably finish the video just because, yeah. At that point, it's like I already saw the asshole. You might as well just finish the video.
This, might as well just follow through with it.
Well,
all right, guys.
Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you guys showing up. Everybody take care of yourselves. We'll be back on Tuesday. I don't remember who we have, but it's going to be a great show. And actually, we have a lot of amazing guests coming up in the second half of the year. So please, everybody, keep on watching. Have a good time. My name is Chuck, and I give a fuck. Take care, everybody. Thanks, guys.
You guys, thanks.